What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Ghost of Yotei's big update that, of course, is coming on November 24th. If you didn't know, if you weren't paying attention today, so this was announced, and I literally think within 10 minutes, the Mafia update was announced. So they kind of came back to back, and I'll be honest, both equally pretty big. You know, the Mafia one we saw coming because they literally announced it, and the Mafia one, I honestly believe they're adding like 10 times more than what they said they were going to add in the first place. This one, I mean, to be fair, like, were we thinking that these things were going to be added? Yes. I forget if they ever, like, confirmed if they were going to add it this quickly, but also, I would argue, there's a good amount of stuff here as well. This really rounds out the game. Same kind of thing I said in Mafia. It adds trophies. It, of course, adds New Game Plus and difficulty modes. There's quite a bit here that can, help Ghost of Yotei out a little bit. And then, of course, remember, because I think I see a lot of people, at least on Twitter, asking the question, Legends is still coming next year, right? We'll see. Maybe we'll get more things to Ghost of Yotei, more updates, kind of smaller scale over the next, half year. But, for the most part, it's going to be rounding it, into shape. And then you would get the Legends multiplayer experience, right? I would imagine first half of next year, but we'll see. Okay, so what is this thing? So again, it comes November 24th. Mafia's comes out tomorrow, so we have to wait a few more days for this one. So the number one thing, New Game Plus, okay? New Game Plus is coming. And so they say New Game Plus will unlock after you finish the main story, obviously, and will add new, harder difficulty options and 2 new trophies. There's also a new currency called Ghost Flowers that you can exchange with a new vendor for more than 30 new cosmetics, including new armor sets and weapon dyes, plus 10 new charms. You'll also be able to earn an additional tier of upgrades for your existing armor sets and weapons. So beyond New Game Plus, they'll also have a host of new features coming for the base game. Starting with this new patch, you'll be able to replay content in the post-game after you've completed the main story, including a new stats display. We're also adding new accessibility options, including directional button remapping, and new photo mode features, including shutter speed, a composition grid, and new filters. We're happy to close out the year with these new features and excited to see what everyone creates in photo mode. We're extraordinarily grateful for all the support you've shown Ghost of Yotei since our launch last month. And they even say, we can't wait to introduce you to Ghost of Yotei Legends in 2026. Thank you for playing. So, everybody was asking for New Game Plus, right? That was the big thing. So I think if they would have just dropped New Game Plus, no, I will say, it's kind of separate from, there's obviously always the drama that goes on with Ghost of Yotei. I'm not a huge fan of games dropping New Game Plus as updates, and it's not just Ghost of Yotei. I would say, oh my God, maybe 7 out of 10 games drop it as updates. And yes, it's cool. And it does, I think, provide the extra, like, okay, time to jump back in, right? Kind of this bonus content afterwards. But a lot of games back in the day would just have New Game Plus built in so that you didn't have to wait. God of War, I think God of War Ragnarok did the same thing. And so, I'm thankful for it. I'm happy because I know a lot of people were asking for it. But I would like to push back industry standard-wise and say, can we get back to the time where New Game Plus was part of the base experience? Because it hasn't been for a long, long time, in my opinion. However, what I will say, I'm really impressed with the other stuff as well as New Game Plus. It's not just being able to kind of go in and dominate, in the beginning of the game with everything that you've unlocked. The thing to me, I kind of want to focus on the whole cosmetic stuff. It's something I don't even think I really talked about in my review and any kind of post-game coverage from Ghost of Yotei. The game's beautiful. Okay, the game's an absolute beautiful game to look at, but I really do like the dyes. They talk about that there's new weapon dyes just in general, 10 new charms. The charms are cool, but I guess talking visually specifically, the cosmetics in this game freaking rock. There are some amazing looks. I really liked the looks of a lot of the things that were in Ghost of Tsushima, and as I've constantly told the story, I played Ghost of Tsushima, replayed it, and then 3 weeks later, Ghost of Yotei came out, so I kind of played them back to back, and I just really love the costumes, the outfits, for Ghost of Yotei. I think they're beautiful. They kind of double down on the whole, as you're upgrading your weapons, well, specifically, I think your armor, right? When you're upgrading your armor, you're building it out, you'll unlock it, and I think you can preview it, without actually putting anything into it, but, the base armor, right, tier 1, it looks a certain way, and it does look cool, but then you see, okay, well, here's upgrade 2, here's upgrade 3, here's upgrade 4. What does the armor look like after that? And the reason I spend so much time talking about it is because I just think it's really almost underappreciated. I think there's a lot of good-looking things in that department in this game in particular. There are so many armor sets in this game that, and I think you get a trophy for unlocking all of them, and every time I found one, I would think, dang it, but not dang it because like it was a chore, but dang it because they all look so cool. Number one, how am I supposed to pick between them? And number two, I have to kind of invest, to be able to upgrade them all so I can switch at my own leisure, right, and pick what's best for me in the moment. So that I'm honestly really impressed with. The rest of it is fine. It's not a game changer. Maybe none of it is technically a game changer, but that stuff I think I'm really, really excited for, just to kind of see, what they would be adding. The new photo mode stuff, that's pretty cool. The replaying content, that could actually be kind of an underrated, like underappreciated thing. Being able to basically go back and do missions and kind of see a stat sheet, as you're going through. I like that idea. That's a little bit of a different one because very few games I would think do that. So pretty impressive. Something that people wanted, they're adding it, and it's like, okay, well, maybe we can make it a standard going forward, but whatever. But I would say some extra stuff to go along with it. Oh, and by the way, 2 trophies. I'm always a fan. I will say, because I do like trophies, I do like platinum in games even still to this day. I am okay, with 2 trophies kind of being patched in. There's a lot of games that have done that, and I think that kind of just adds a little bit of value, to go back and play, because then you want those 2 trophies. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.